Alright, what is up, YouTube? And we finally got C6 HUTAO. The journey is over. I think we have succeeded in making a pretty ultimate HUTAO build. And yeah, so I'm going to start this video by saying the first half will be like a little showcase of HUTAO and her team now, and her C6 and what it does. And then I'll also do my first half team because later I will show her in the Spiral Abyss. It is a very fun team. Her crit rate, as you will see now, is very low because we have her C6, and crit rate does not matter quite as much anymore. And it's not the most consistent build, but you have to understand the damage will still get done when it needs to be done. You will still clear the Abyss halves pretty easily with this team, because even though you're not critting every hit, when you do crit it will be a lot. And then her C6, as I will show you, triggers when HUTAO is below 25% HP, or when she hits 1 health, or when she suffers a critical hit. So then when that happens, her crit rate is increased by 100% and her damage resistance is increased by 200%. And yeah, so she pretty much just can't die in that state, or it's a lot harder to kill her. And then she does a lot more damage, but it can only occur every 60 seconds. So that is why I run her with a shield still, like Zhongli. And I chose Zhongli because he was an easy buff. Typically I would maybe go for something a little different if I didn't want that tenacity buff. So in other abysses, I may go Fischl, I may go Kaeya, I may go Beto, and either equip them all with Instructor. Kaeya, I would probably equip with Instructor. And then others I would equip with Tenacity, or something like that. If I was using them in a Dendro Reaction team, I would maybe go Gilded Dreams, or no, not Gilded Dreams, Deepwood Nahida, or Deepwood Kirara for some Dendro reactions, just to get some buffs off. If I was feeling frisky, I would go Kazuha, or an Anemo character who could use the Verdescent Venerer set. But the reason I did not do that is because I wouldn't be swirling Pyro beforehand. I could swirl Hydro and, you know, buff my Yelan and Jinkyu, but that's just not as worth it as swirling Pyro to decrease the Pyro damage resistance. I choose the Tenacity buff instead in this scenario. So yeah, real quick, I'm going to show you C6 HUTAO's stats. As you can see, we got our skewed attack there just because she's in her Guide to the Afterlife mode. 200 Elemental Mastery and 35,000 HP. I'm pretty happy with this build now because we got that 147 crit rate. And as you can see, all of her damage resistances have just been like skyrocketed. I'll show you all of these characters' builds real quick. We got Staff of Homa, R2. We got a pretty good circlet, if I do say so myself. I think there's only one dead roll in there. We got probably my best flower on this account. A pretty solid overall feather. And I thought about this feather because I would get more crit rate and I would get over 300 crit damage. Being just 0.1% below is driving me a little crazy, I'm not gonna lie. But then our Elemental Mastery would fall to 166, and you know, the doctor recommended amount for HUTAO is like 200, I believe. And I didn't want to switch to an EM feather because my other EM feathers, they would kind of take away from the overall build, just because there's some dead rolls in there on this one. And then I have an offset one, but I don't want to run Shimenawa's, and I really don't want to run my onset pyro damage goblets because they are just simply not that good. So I chose the Shimenawa goblet instead for my offset piece. I think it's a pretty solid piece overall. So I'm happy with this build, even though it's not quite to 300 when it could be. I think for C6, this is a perfect balance of crit rate and crit damage. Oh, and then yeah, everybody knows what her C1 does. Charge attacks don't use stamina. That's instrumental for HUTAO. C2 isn't like as great, but it's, you know, it's still nice to have, and it's just part of the journey of getting C6 HUTAO. We got the talent raising ones, and then this one's pretty huge because this will give 12% to my the rest of my team after HUTAO defeats somebody who had her Blood Blossom effect on them, which is basically just when you charge attack any opponent, they get a little flower on them. And so Yelan and Jin-Q will, and you know, and Zhongli, but he doesn't really need it. They will all have like 75 crit rate after that. So that's pretty sick. And then we obviously maxed out all of HUTAO's talents. Let's just real quick go through Jin-Q. We got the Sacrificial Sword. We are running Lava Walker on Jin-Q, which is not a common thing to do, I don't believe. But I pretty much will only use Jin-Q in my HUTAO team. And as such, I might as well make use of this set because I got so many great pieces when I was grinding the Crimson Witch. So, and then Yelan over here we got running the Aqua Simulacra and the Noblest set. So we are just straight buffing HUTAO because I just want to produce like the biggest charge attack damages possible. So that was my mindset with creating this team. Zhongli, this is nothing special for a Zhongli build. We basically just built him for shielding and buffing HUTAO. We don't have any special constellations on him, and we don't even have his shield thing leveled up all the way because we don't really need to. Kind of a waste of Mora, and I don't take a bunch of pride in my Zhongli build or even that I have him. He's just Old Faithful shielder. Then coming over here, I will show you my first half team real quick. We're doing a Kaeya like semi-national team. Let's just go through this real quick. I'm running the 2-piece Shimenawas and 2-piece Blizzard Strayer on him because I think getting some attack percent is kind of important in Kaeya. He's built for pretty high damage. We got a pretty high crit rate there, or crit damage. And then, you know, overall, pretty solid artifacts, if I do say so myself. Part of my mentality with going 2-piece Shimenawas and 2-piece Blizzard Strayer was because that's how I would get the most out of my substats. And then coming over here, we got a solid Jingling build. I ran her energy recharge through the roof because I hate just throwing out this little stupid teddy bear to get energy. It's so annoying, so I just ramped up that energy recharge on her and Bennett a lot, so that wasn't as big of a problem. And then Kazuha, the build is nothing special, but it is C1, which is very fun to use. And then Bennett we have equipped to heal right now, and we also have Noblest on him, so he's my Noblest user on the second half. C6, of course. And in a team like this, basically in any team except Eula, in a Eula team, and that might be it. In an Ayaka team, but you wouldn't use a Pyro character on an Ayaka team anyway. C6 Bennett is actually not as bad as people say. In fact, it actually helps having a little bit of Pyro normal attacks. Even in like my Raiden team, when Raiden's ult isn't activated, she's doing more damage just because her normal attacks are buffed Pyro hits. So yeah, I am going to stop rambling and get right into the Spiral Abyss gameplay. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I am so hyped that I have C6 HUTAO now. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope if you're pulling for HUTAO, then you get all of the constellations and weapons you desire. So yeah, thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time. So one quick thing, I have noticed that my damage is actually not as high when I'm using Elan on Noblesse and not Jing-Q. And I do not know why, but it's like a difference of 40,000 damage. And you'll also notice that I am having a slightly difficult time getting HUTAO below 25% health, but I think the gameplay is still pretty nuts. If you want to see HUTAO have like a really quick round, you can just go like skip to the end of the Spiral Abyss run, the floor 12, last chamber, last half. But the Kaeya gameplay is pretty good, and I still think the HUTAO gameplay is pretty good. So just watch at your own discretion. It is up to you guys. And yeah.
No, I'm a child of God. I wanna go to God anyway. Close to your love again. I give my heart again, Jesus. I wanna go to God anyway. Close to your love again. I give my heart again, Jesus. I know me well. I can be miserable until you tell me alright here. I can't go back if you look me insane and break your heart. Sometimes I go look for what you give, not who you are. I wonder if you leave for me. God, just tell me what you need from me. Is the Holy Spirit saving me? God, I'm asking you for clarity, even though you told me already. God told me I'm someone, 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 know that I'm someone, no, I'm a child of God.